So current time is 4:19 p.m. Monday. Um, I'm about to go for a quick walk. Um, I was reading comments and people sharing their stories with me about anxiety, panic attacks. Some of us had it for myself a little bit over a year and a half. Some of us had it for a longer time. Some of us just start having it. You know, I start to think about it and what might create my own panic attacks. I was reading stories about how everyone else is. Sometimes it could be like they lost like a family member. Whether that's your brother, your sister, your husband, your wife. A cousin, a close friend, or anything. For myself, I lost my brother a little bit over a year before I started having panic attacks. He had a couple of strokes. So when he got his first stroke, he wasn't able to walk and move one side of his body. I'm not too sure which side. Um, so when he was talking, he had a hard time talking, and then he started getting more strokes, but he went to a rehab center. So he slowly got better. He can start moving his hand, his legs. He talked a lot better, but he wasn't able to walk. Um, and he started feeling depressed, and my whole family started feeling depressed. Especially me because you know I I start I start taking care of him. Whenever I went to his house, I stayed with him for a couple hours, and I've seen him not being able to do things without asking for help, and I slowly felt depressed without even knowing it. And every time I went home, I was like, feeling bad for him, and while I was depressed and I didn't really know about it, a couple of months um later, he started getting more strokes. Kept going to the hospital, and one day they asked him if he wanted to have a surgery to see if it helps, and he agreed to it, and it was like a 50-50 chance. And he had a stroke while he had his surgery, and the hospital called us, told us to the bad news. He was brain dead. His body was still okay, but he was just brain dead. Um, and then when we went, my parents just told me let's go, but they didn't tell me why. I saw him hooked up to the life support, and then I instantly knew, and then I just cried. I didn't know what else to do besides cry, and then I remember a couple of years ago when my girlfriend's dad passed away. He actually had his one legs removed because he's a diabetic, and then I remember seeing him on life support. And then I was pretty close to my girlfriend's dad too. Drove him to the store a couple of times. And sometimes I dream about my girlfriend's dad. I dream about my brother, and then couple of years ago, before my girlfriend's dad passed away, my grandma passed away, and saw her laying down in the bed with the life support on, and this. So I started having like little flashbacks of people that I lost. Like my grandma. Even though I never lived with my grandma, but when I look at my mom crying, then I start crying because I feel my mom's pain. And then I see my parents. My parents are getting old. I start worrying about one day whether my parents pass away. And then how am I going to handle that? So I think part of seeing my brother pass away, about 2.5 years ago, it slowly got to me. And the other thing that created my panic attacks in May, I think, was work. I started having too much work I can't handle, especially when I was working doing a graveyard shift by myself. That got to me. And you know, because I had a new manager and stuff. And I was skipping my lunch, my break hours. I was doing stuff. I was eating and trying to get my work done, um, which is which is my own fault, because no one knew what I was doing. They knew I was at work, but they didn't know I was skipping my lunch and my break just to finish my job. And I just wanted to finish my job so the next shift they don't have to worry about finishing my job. And I had to finish the morning, I mean the swing shift job. So I was trying to finish so everyone can just work on their own task. But no one knew that I was overworking myself. And I never really told anyone. And I guess when I did that, I overworked my mind and my body. And at that time, I guess all I cared was getting everything done. So and then a couple of months later, my daughter finished. She was towards the last few weeks of middle school, and then she was going to high school. And then I started worrying about her going to high school, because I myself never finished high school. I'm a high school dropout, because I had learning disabilities. I found out I had learning disabilities when I was in middle school. I was okay for in 6th grade, but 7th and 8th grade I was having a hard time in school. When I was reading words, I was having a hard time reading. I was having a hard time writing. I couldn't spell so well. And I didn't have anxiety. I didn't have depression when I was younger. At least not that I know of. I had friends. I have friends that help me with my homework. They never like say, "Oh, you're stupid" and stuff like that. There was times that I felt like I was like holding everyone back. Like my classmates. So I said to myself, "Why am I even going to try to learn if I have a learning disability?" I feel like the teacher is gonna have to work extra hard just to get me to learn something that my brain can't seem to focus on. Don't get me wrong, I was trying my best, but it's like I couldn't process, my brain couldn't process things. And then I was also, this is when I was in my teens. I was also worried about my family at the time, like my mom, my dad, stuff like that. And I couldn't figure out why was I so worried about everyone else but myself. And like I said, I don't think I ever had anxiety. Maybe I did. Maybe I just never had panic attacks. But as I got older, I start seeing like elderly people, like not just my people, my family, my mom, my dad, but see my grandma and other people's like parents that are old, other people's grandparents old, and like seeing them walking on the streets, like holding bags of groceries, and walking the streets without people driving them. And then I told my mom that I I told her, when I get older, I have my license. I don't want to see you walking. I want to be able to drive you places. I don't care if you have to wake me up early in the morning. I don't want you to be outside in the rain walking and stuff like that. And I start worrying about all this stuff. And And then I guess slowly, maybe that's how I started having anxiety, and I just didn't know until one day everything just, my brain just couldn't handle all the worries and threw me into a panic attack. But now that now that I think about it, I think that's what happened. And so once you figure out why you start having anxiety, panic attacks, and you start talking about it, you let it out your mind. You can slowly overcome your anxiety. Don't keep it in your head. For myself, I kept my learning disability in my mind for so long. Don't get me wrong, I might not got a high school diploma, but I was able to get jobs. I was able to find a job and stuff like that. But you know, my last job I had for 8 years until I lost it due to anxiety. But now, I'm working my way back. Life has challenged me so many times, but I overcame my learning disabilities by learning stuff on my own. I might not have a high school diploma, might not have a college degree, but I'm gonna prove to people that just because I don't have any of that stuff, doesn't make me lazy. And for anyone that thinks people that have anxiety, panic attacks that were lazy, it can happen to anyone. You can be the strongest person, you can be the smartest person, you can be the richest person in the world, strongest person in the world. You can have anxiety out of nowhere. You wouldn't even know it. And for people to call us lazy, I ignore them. I was like, hey, you call me lazy all you want, but till you know how it feels to be inside our body, you can call us lazy all you want. My family doesn't call me lazy or anything, but I know some of you guys might have family, friends, that think you're lazy because you're scared of whatever. For myself, my fear is to go outside, have a panic attack. It's not the outside world that is making you that's making you scared to have a panic attack. Is having a panic attack in front of people. People you don't know, strangers, because you're embarrassed. You feel like you're gonna embarrass yourself in front of hundreds of thousands of people. So, um, that's why but you still have panic attacks at home. Sometimes your panic attacks at home might be even worse than the ones outside because, at home you feel safer. You're with your family, so you're like, okay, whatever. If I have a panic attack here, I won't embarrass myself outside in front of people. But once you go outside, the panicky feeling comes, and you're able to handle it. That makes you stronger than those people that doesn't have panic attacks because you can go outside, you can go outside, you have a panic attack, you walk a block and you feel fine. Those people that don't have panic attacks, they don't know what it feels like. They can open the door, walk out the house, go to work, go to school, go for a walk, whatever. They don't have to worry about any symptom, sensation, or whatever. For myself, it's the fear of getting dizzy, fainting, all that stuff. But when you fear it, the fear gets so strong that you create the symptom in your mind. It's so strong that you feel dizzy, you feel like your heart is pounding, you feel this. So think about it next time you have a panic attack. What are you scared of? Are you scared that your heart is pounding fast? When you feel that fear of your heart pounding fast, you're gonna feel your heart pounding fast because you're telling your brain that that's what you're scared of the most, and then your heart's gonna stop pounding fast. You know, for me, it's the dizziness. If I feel the dizziness, I'm gonna start getting dizzy. You know, but once you overcome that fear, your your brain's gonna know, hey, he's not scared of this symptom, so he won't he won't even notice it. You know, and there are days that I'll get so dizzy, but I'll stand up and start walking around. I'll make myself dizzier to let my mind know that, hey, you know what, I'm not scared of you anymore. And you know, also think about everyone is scared of something, you know, but those of us have anxiety where it amplifies like 10 times whatever we're scared of. But you know, everyone gets dizzy, everyone heart starts racing once in a while, you know, everyone gets headaches, migraines, stuff like that. um it's just, you know, it's just anxiety. It's as crazy as that sounds, but you know, anxiety can bring you so much symptom sensations. um some of these symptom sensation I might have, you guys might not have. Some of these you guys might have, and I might not have. So you know, that's the worst thing. You know, one person can have all these symptoms that no one has, and whatnot. And you know, when you get a new symptom, new sensation, it's gonna scare you because you never felt it before. You know, and it happens to me. You know, when I first started having anxiety, I didn't get upset stomach. My heart wasn't racing really bad. I wasn't getting like headaches, head pressure. I was just dizzy, and I felt dizzy, lightheaded, and I felt detached. You know, and it slowly worked up to feeling my upset stomach. I started having like headaches, head pressure, chest pain, racing heart, stuff like that. Now, when I wake up in the morning, I don't really get I don't really get headaches as much as I used to. My heart isn't racing as soon as I wake up anymore. I'm not having that much negative thoughts, what if thoughts as much as I used to. You know, so I'm I'm slowly getting better. I'm slowly controlling my thoughts. I'm not letting my thoughts control me. I control my thoughts, and I think once you learn how to control your what if thoughts, let's say if you go outside and then you stop for one little second, and then you have a thought in your head, and that thought tells you to go home or else. Challenge that thought. If that thought tells you, hey, you're gonna get dizzy, slowly walk away. Walk a little bit farther from your house, and then you'll notice if nothing happens, you know, your body's gonna feel relief. You're not gonna feel dizzy. The farther you go, the sooner your mind calms down, the sooner you won't fear being outside. And I think that's what I'm doing. Like I say, I don't take medications. I'm actually scared of taking medications. But the only person that can help you with anxiety is you, because you know what's triggering your panic attacks. You know, you figure out when you have your panic attacks, what you eat before you had your panic attacks, what's on your mind when you were having a panic attack, what time it was, you know, all that stuff. Sometimes you might have a panic attack at this around the same time every day. Write down that time, write down what was on your mind, write down, you know, what were you doing, because all those things might be telling you something, you know. For me, I always feel panicky around the same time, you know. And there are times that I don't want to leave my house, so I would take a nap so I can wake up and that time would be over, you know. So now I I used to feel panicky around 11 o'clock, and I would like start looking at the time so much that I would start freaking out because I say, oh my God, it's 11 o'clock. I'm going to start panicking. But once I look at the time and tell myself, I'm not going to panic, you know, I say in my mind like 11 o'clock, so what, you know, by me doing so, it I slowly overcame what I thought was going to trigger me to having a panic attack, because I created a panic attack in my mind before it happened. And once you learn how to control your thoughts, what makes you panicky, you know, that fear cycle that's in your brain is gonna turn off. It might take a while, but the sooner you do it, the sooner the better. So, I mean, I'm walking, I'm driving again. I might not be able to go back to work yet, but at least I'm able to like go outside, go somewhere, do the things that I thought I wasn't going to be able to do. Before I was stuck in my room, hiding under my blanket because I didn't want to even bother looking outside the window because I would think that what's the point of looking out the outside world when I'm never gonna see it again, but look at me now. So I still have little panicky moments here and there. I'm not gonna lie, sometimes it still gets to me, but once it's over, I'm like, nothing happened. You just have to remind yourself every time it happens, no matter how bad it feels, you're still here, and each time it happens, you get stronger, no matter how bad it feels. A couple of days ago, I had one that was so bad that I just lay on my bed. I sat down and watched TV. And I was like, I just ignore it. And once you ignore it, you're telling your brain that, hey, I'm not scared of this anymore, and then your brain will react to it differently. So the next time the more you don't react to it, your brain will shut down. What I mean by shutting down, it won't send you into that fight or flight cycle for whatever reason. It's that little on and off switch that makes you scared of whatever you think you're scared of. But other than that, sometimes once you have a panic attack, sometimes you just have to laugh it off, smile, whatever. And now when I get it, I'll start laughing, I'll start smiling, because the more you let it get to you, the worse it gets, and that's why I learned, the more I hide from it, the more symptoms, the more sensations I get, the more I fear it. Sometimes you have to chase whatever you're scared of, and if you let it chase you, the farther you get away from it, the farther you start getting scared. But once you start chasing what you're scared of, it will leave you alone because you're telling it that, hey, I'm not scared of it anymore, and that's all you have to do. But yeah, so I'm about to head out for my walk right now. It's starting to get late. Also, last night I fell asleep around 10 p.m. Woke up only once in the middle of the night and went back to sleep. Woke up this morning at 6 something a.m. I just like walked around the house. I smiled. I was like, I didn't feel panicky. I didn't feel anything, but I just felt happy because I was able to sleep. It wasn't 8 hours straight, but I didn't wake up in the middle of the night and stay up. My mind wasn't like, I wasn't having any negative thoughts, no wasting thoughts. I don't really get any negative thoughts as much as I used to. No wasting thoughts, nothing like that. It's because every time I go out, even if I'm just going for a quick walk around the block to the corner, I'm feeding my mind positive energy. And when I do that, my mind slowly relax. Before I'll be walking around like, my upper body's up here so stiff that like it won't go down. How I feel all this muscle tension. Guess what? Now my body is not as, I don't feel that much pain. I'm not having a lot of muscle tension or anything like that like I used to. It's because I'm learning to relax. I'm calming my mind down, and I'm sleeping better. And before I go to bed now, I make sure I turn off the TV an hour before I try to sleep. If I do have the TV on, I listen to music. I'll have my phone on. I'll listen to music, something that calms my mind down. Don't watch news, nothing that has anything that might trigger you to have a panic attack. Nothing that will feed your mind in a negative way. Feed your mind positive. Like, if you think something bad might happen, you're telling your brain that something bad might happen. So your brain automatically responds to negativity, not positivity. If you feed yourself more positive thoughts, your mind will be happy. Your mind won't send you into the fight or flight, and that's what I've been doing. Anytime if I feel panicky, I smile, I laugh it off. No matter how bad it feels, no matter how scared I am, I'll smile. When I smile, I laugh. I say, so what? All that stuff. My mind will slowly just calm itself down. I'm not fighting my panic attacks. I'm just letting it happen like I like it. Like, come on, feed me more. And once you show you're not scared of it, which might take time, I understand. Because for me, it took a long time for me to even like make it out my front door at times. So, show your fear who's boss. And once your mind knows that you're not scared, you're thinking positive, that whatever happens, your mind will just be happier, your body will be happier. You're gonna slowly feel, that muscle tension will slowly calm down. Sometimes just go for a walk. Go for a walk with somebody. How about yourself? Whoever you trust, get that mind, clear your mind, clear your thoughts. And right now, if I hear someone around my family feeling negatively about something, I'm gonna talk to that person. I'm gonna say, I don't want you to feel bad for me, because if someone feels bad for me, I'm gonna feel bad for that person feeling bad for me, and that's how I am. And sometimes when I see homeless people, and I have food on me or something, I feel bad for them, and then my mind automatically starts feeling bad for them, and then I'll like, oh, I can just buy something else to eat for myself. I'll just hand it to them, If I have like an extra bottle of water that I'm not drinking, and I see a homeless person like looking for water, I'm just gonna hand it to them, Sometimes you feed yourself positivity, your mind will thank you later. And for me, I think it's, from my inside, I think it's just worrying about everything around me, and not worrying about myself as much as I should be. But since it's getting late, I've been talking for almost a half an hour. Just going to head out for my walk, and just want to say, whatever happens, if you go out for a walk, if you're homebound like I was, just, if you can't make out your front door, go to your backyard. Just grab a chair, sit down. If you have a tablet, a laptop, go outside, sit down, listen to nature around you. For myself, I live not too far. I live about 25 minutes away from the airport, and I can hear the airplanes flying by every few minutes. I can hear the train coming by and all that stuff. So it gets pretty loud around where I live, but I'm okay with it now. Noise doesn't really create me to have a panicky feeling like it did for last year, when I wasn't able to handle too much noise. Recently we had construction workers at the house hammering and making loud sounds. I was able to sleep through a lot of the noise too. So because I learned to control my mind, and don't let my mind control me. Your mind is there to work with you, not against you. So once you learn that, how to take over, control your mind, then that anxiety will just slowly go away. Sometimes you have to write down those thoughts that pop in your mind. Write it down. Don't keep it inside your head. And that's why I make my videos, because I'm talking about what's those thoughts in my mind, and I don't let it stick to my mind anymore. I just wanted to let it out my head. Other than that, you just have to smile and keep going, I guess. And like I said, if you're scared of leaving your house for whatever reason, go with someone. If you're afraid of going like in the morning, go a little bit late in the afternoon when it's starting to get dark. Then work your way towards the morning. Let your body get used to being outdoors. And like for myself, I started leaving my house at night. Then I slowly work my way through in the morning. Get comfortable with the time that being outside, and then your body will get used to it, and then you'll slowly, next thing you know, you'll be able to go for a walk. You might not go like a mile away, but you'll be able to walk to get the mail. If you couldn't do that before, if you could get the mail but you couldn't make it to the corner, you'll be able to do that. Sometimes you just have to believe in yourself, because for myself, like, I let my mind tell me you can't do this, you can't do that, but now I'm telling my mind, I can do it, and I'm going to bring you with me. And that's all I did. If someone tells me you can't do this, you can't do that, I'm going to say, I might not be able to do everything you said, but that doesn't mean I won't be able to try. Right? So other than that, like I said, you just have to smile, be happy, be yourself, because sometimes I know people have to pretend they're someone else, because for whatever reason, I'm not going to pretend I'm someone that I'm not, just to make someone happy. If you make someone else happy to be someone else that you're not, then you're not going to be happy. Other than that, I'm just going to go for my walk right now before it gets darker. I'm a little dizzy right now, but you know what? So what? Sometimes you just gotta keep pushing through and smile, like I said. It's because your mind just wants to play tricks with you, and if you let that trick get to you, that's when it hurts you. I was gonna turn around this block, but nope. I'm just gonna keep going for another block or two and head home, because I was gonna turn back there, but I was like, nope, I'm not gonna let it get to me. You?
Come on, buddy.
As you can see, well, you can't see, but still a little dizzy. My stomach's upset, but you know what? So what? Like I said, I was gonna stop and head back home because my mind was telling me I should, but I told my mind no, I shouldn't, and I kept walking. And whatever my mind said it was gonna happen, it didn't happen. And if you ever had the urge to run home and you do, that's okay. What counts is that you were outside and just do it again the next day. As long as you keep trying, that's all that matters.